Ooh, hold on, everyone. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Wake and Take. It's your boy Jason, and we've got some football to talk about today. Today, we're talking preseason winners, and you might guess it, tomorrow we'll be talking preseason losers. So go ahead and buckle up for this part one of 2 episodes, taking a look at some of the best performers and worst performers of this weekend's preseason games. There's lots of fun storylines. I've picked my 10 favorites. We'll answer some questions at the end, maybe dive into some more or anything. But either way, we've got a good episode lined up. We all know it. It's going to be fun. So go ahead, take out your coffee, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. All right, and welcome in, everyone. Good morning to you, Mark, Curtis, Alex, Literature, Ryan, Alex again, because I clicked on you, Famous Jay, and Go Jin. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And you know what, I'll just be honest. I'm kind of with you. Had a lot of catch up this morning. Missed, like a few of the games. I wasn't able to catch them all. I caught what I could, but trust me, still did go through and make sure that we are covering everything we should be covering as it pertains to our fantasy football team and what happened this weekend for fantasy football during the preseason, all of that stuff. I've got winners for you. I've got the top 10 winners. I've also got some honorable mentions to go over at the back of the show. And man, what a weekend of football. What a weekend of football. It is so nice to just be back. I know it's preseason, but maybe it's just this year's influx of rookie quarterbacks or something. But it was I was looking forward to a lot of these games. It was oh man, I can't wait to tune in and see what Jayden Daniels looks for his first drive. And then he hits that awesome pass, and it's whoo, that was incredible. And then you see Michael Penix with pocket presence of a pro. You see Caleb Williams highlights. You're getting Jordan Whittington shit yesterday. It is just so nice. This has been a very fun preseason. And maybe it's because it's the first week. I mean, we're probably not going to have any starters this week of preseason and probably not week 3, maybe a little bit. This was, the big preseason week that we all get excited about. And yeah, there were some great storylines. So why don't we go ahead and hop right into my top 10 preseason winners. The first one, I'm just bunching them together. This would be a 20 preseason winner show if I individually put out these first round rookie quarterbacks, but they all looked good. Drake May, we'll go ahead and say, Drake May went 2 of 3 for 19 yards, but as we'll see when I pull up his clip, a lot of, and I might as well just go ahead and do that. I mean, I really think he was pulled. I really just think that they didn't really care. They didn't want him to get some reps. That's still a decent amount, 2 of 3, fine. That's fine. But if you look at this clip, I mean, you'll just see that their offensive line is just so bad. And it seems that they may have pulled him just so he wasn't continuously working behind this O-line. But still, even in this play, it demonstrates some good poise. He gets immediately blown up, as you'll see here. Gets the snap, his left tackle literally just blown up, and he just on his back foot has to dump it out to the running back. But just being able to demonstrate that presence to me is a good enough sign. We'll find, we'll find a silver lining in his only 3 pass attempts performance to still throw him in with the rest of the rookie quarterbacks who all were much better than 2 of 3 for 19 yards. Drake May was the worst of them, but as just demonstrated, he still was okay enough and still, looked okay, I guess. I mean, a very small sample size. I think he ended up being pulled because that offensive line was so bad. But Jayden Daniels, 2 of 3 for 45 yards, even had a rushing touchdown. Caleb Williams, 4 of 7 for 95 yards, had some rushing yards as well. J.J. McCarthy, 11 of 17 for 188 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Michael Penix, 9 of 16 for 104 yards. And Bo Nix, 15 of 21 for 125 yards and a touchdown. Literally, all of them. A very good performance. Gave you ton of confirmation maybe to those of you who drafted in your rookie draft that they will be good quarterbacks. And this has kind of been the thing. They all got drafted so high and they all got good landing spots for their skill set. Every single one of these quarterbacks drafted in the first round it makes sense that they're going to pan out. Like, it just does. Like, if you just think about it for a second, the Broncos offense is so similar to what Bo Nix is good at. Drake May, he's going to take some time to come out there, but the Patriots are really trending in the right direction, and they need a superhero type quarterback like him. The Falcons, they don't need a quarterback right now, but Michael Penix is clearly going to be able to step in for Kirk Cousins when he goes down. JJ McCarthy just looks like Joshua Dobbs, but actually good, which is awesome for this Vikings offense. Caleb Williams looks as promised. Jaden Williams looks as promised. It was so great to see. So I've got highlights, one highlight from each of these quarterbacks, just so we can get even more excitement for them. So here's a great Caleb Williams throw, just demonstrating what we saw from him in the pre-draft process, demonstrating that, he really is kind of got some of those Patrick Mahomes play extending abilities that we just like as fantasy gamers, as NFL fans. So here you go.
Hall of Fame, Steve Tasker.
Obviously, play action outside,
fakes
on the run.
Smoot doesn't buy the fake this time. Williams connects
in double coverage. Really, really good ball placement on the run. While being pressured. Just great poise, great decision by Caleb Williams. Jayden Daniels just goes out here and slings it to De'Ami Brown for his highlight. This one's been going crazy. Like I said, I was so excited to watch the Jayden Daniels start just to see it. I just wanted to see it. And then he just comes out there and gives us this beautiful pass.
Daniels pulls the trigger, looking for the deep ball down the sideline.
I mean, just perfect placement in there. Just incredible placement. Zip on the ball. Everything you want. Just looks so good. I already showed the Drake May clip. Here's Michael Penix zipping it as well. No touchdowns from him, but still, this is a really nice pass, just demonstrating the poise and pocket presence of an NFL quarterback.
Running back with deep. He has an open.
Don't mind the announcer there. That was so funny with it. Just. But either way, look at this. Good placement as well. Again, a nice throw from a quarterback. JJ McCarthy. My favorite thing about JJ McCarthy is one of his first throws was an interception, maybe a second throw, but he threw an interception early and then backed it up. Going out there, throwing a touchdown pass. Had 2 touchdown passes. By the end of it, looked good. Here's JJ McCarthy's first touchdown pass. An absolute bomb of a throw. Check it out.
Oh, there we go. Oh, here it is.
Just beautiful. Just beautiful. I mean, what else do you want from a man? Just incredible throw, great placement, everything you want. And then Bo Nix as well. His highlight's not that great, but still, his thing was just lots of, like he did at Oregon, just dink and dunk, finding the open man. But then here in the red zone, he gets Marvin Mims out in the flat for this first preseason touchdown, just showing his decision making. Here we go.
Nix throws, touchdown.
Great placement. I mean, the corner's coming in to jump that, but he places it just outside enough to only his wide receiver can get it. Just one last time, or for the first time even, haven't done this yet. We've got to do this. Just great weekend from these rookie quarterbacks. It was just awesome to see. We love to see it. First-round rookie quarterbacks making a name for themselves in their preseason debuts. Looking good. Just awesome. Just awesome. It's just awesome. It's just awesome. So anyway, shout out those guys. That's the big winner. I mean, we could probably do an entire episode, and I'm sure they're out there. Just people analyzing the performances of these quarterbacks. Incredible. Just they look so good. Everything you want. So we'll just go ahead and continue saying it. This has been one of the big takes of the offseason. Get those rookie quarterbacks on your Dynasty Superflex team. Just get them. They're all undervalued except for Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams overvalued right now, at least has been now. He's at least showing some hype and a little bit of performance to make you believe, okay, maybe he is the 8th best quarterback in Dynasty. I still think that's a bit high, but I understand if you don't want to take the risk. If you want to take Caleb Williams and get one of the other rookie quarterbacks, I don't hate it, because you could get a nice cherry on top, but still, I mean, he looks so good too. Why move on from him if you don't want to? So either way, all of them I think are acquirable right now. Get them while you can. Shout out to them for their great performances. The next big preseason winner is everyone's favorite sleeper. The Rams are doing it again. Jordan Whittington looked incredible as well. Had 9 targets. That's a lot. That's a lot. I mean, that's obviously going to happen when some players are rested and they want to get this guy some reps, but he looked good off those 9 targets. Brought in 6 of them for 74 yards. And check out this play.
Run. Over the middle,
Whittington
breaks a tackle.
Jordan
Whittington inside the 20, inside the 10.
Tackled as well. So, an awesome play by Jordan Whittington. This has been a player that has been kind of popping off during training camp, making a lot of noise for himself, making people believe that the Rams just know how to draft wide receivers at the end of the draft. 6-pound draft capital, 6'1", 200 pounds, 4.52 40-yard dash, 86th percentile agility. Great stuff from him. 24 years old, out of Texas, so not a lot of opportunity in Texas with Xavier Worthy there, with Adonai Mitchell there, even the tight end, right? Jatavian Sanders got more usage than he did, but he looks really good in this offense. He's showing some of these Deebo Samuel capabilities. So, hey, Jordan Whittington continuing to make some noise for himself. Great highlight by him, 6 of 9 for 74 yards. The next player is A.T. Perry. A.T. Perry is a big winner too, because the Saints, this wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 role really is wide open, and somebody has to take it. And this was the opportunity, or at least the beginning of the opportunity, for some players to get that role. And A.T. Perry was the one who did it. He had 4 targets, brought in all 4 of them for 85 yards. The next best player had only 24 yards receiving, and that was the tight end, Dallin Holker. The next best wide receiver was Samson Nakua, who only had 2 receptions for 19 yards. A.T. Perry, clearly the better wide receiver here. We didn't see anything from the Mason Tipton guy that had been making some noise at camp. Didn't see anything from Bub Means. All we saw was A.T. Perry. So this is a guy you've got to pick up. And I'll play a highlight in a second, but I just want to mention Ray GQ over on Twitter. He charted his the routes he was running, and he led the Saints in the hitch out go routes, which he claims are the best routes to be running as a wide receiver, leading to fantasy points. He had 9 of such routes and converted all 4 of his targets on there. Again, 84 yards from him. And just check out the clip. Check out the clip. He looked pretty good. He really did.
Hayner facing pressure, steps up, throws a deep ball. Receiver gets behind the defense. Perry caught inside the 25 and out of.
Now, I mean, obviously, you would like to see him catch and turn that into a touchdown. I mean, he had no one with him, and he kind of just ran straight out of bounds.
Throws a deep ball.
But that's
Receiver
more
gets
so
behind the
ball
defense.
placement.
Perry.
I mean, yes, he catches it. Let's see. How can we get it? Come on, Twitter. He catches it a little bit off the sideline, but only Tyreek Hill, I feel like, and like a few other wide receivers are really able to make that cut. So, you got to get, it's preseason, but still, you would like to see him turn up the field and turn that into a touchdown, but still a great catch, great route, getting open. And that's all you want to see, bringing in all 4 of your receptions for 84 yards when not a single wide receiver on the team even had 20. That does demonstrate that he's probably locked down that wide receiver 3 role on this offense, which is good because he was actually quiet really all offseason. Hadn't really heard much. Again, we were hearing noise about all the other wide receivers on the team, really. So A.T. Perry, a huge winner in this. Good for him. The next one, it's going to be some speculation here is what we'll call it. But Sam Howell. Sam Howell is also a winner because, as we know, Geno Smith picked up an injury in camp and had to miss a few games, and it was actually really quiet. We didn't really hear anything about Sam Howell seizing his opportunity, going out there and playing well. So we wanted to see what he'd look like in the preseason, because I am still firm in my belief that, yes, Geno Smith's a good quarterback, but given that this is a new Seahawks regime and they just traded for Sam Howell, and Sam Howell had almost 4,000 yards passing last year, and Sam Howell is still a really young quarterback, that I feel that there's a huge possibility that the Seahawks could pull the plug on Geno Smith if he's just average or less, if he loses a step at all, because they want to give Sam Howell a chance to see if, maybe he could be the future of their franchise before looking at someone in the draft or free agency next year. So Sam Howell comes out into this preseason game, and he has an opportunity to really earn the trust of this coaching staff. And he goes 16-27, which isn't great, but he has 160 passing yards. He gets that passing touchdown, and he has no turnovers, which is just awesome. Especially, 16-27. You can't get too mad at quarterbacks because of their completion percentage. Yes, a lot of it's going to come down to the quarterbacks, but they're also playing with their second, third, fourth string wide receivers. So there's also going to be some drops in there. So I would say this is good enough. I would say that was a good enough performance by Sam Howell. No turnovers is exactly what you want to see. Over 150 passing yards is exactly what you want to see. Getting that passing touchdown is exactly what you want to see. So he is, steadily going to earn the trust of this coaching staff. I want to say, if you can get Sam Howell on your team, do it. Not saying he'll take over the starting job and become the franchise quarterback of the Seahawks, but I do think he has the potential to see the field as a starter this year. And that's very important in our super flex leagues. Even if you have to burn a roster spot, having a backup quarterback with that starter potential is a way that you really can make a difference for your squad, especially towards the end of the season when, these points matter most. And all these injuries have piled up. To have an option like a Sam Howell, I think would be huge. And it was a good enough performance. And check out this play. Check out his touchdown pass. It's not really a Sam Howell highlight. It is a Sam Howell highlight. But I really want to talk about the tight end here too, because it was pretty exciting stuff on this play. Check it out.
Howell, all kinds of time. And underneath.
So that is Brady Russell. And we'll start. Sam Howell all kinds in there. I mean, that is a baseball pitch. But Brady Russell catches it with a man literally on him. And underneath out of it and gets into the end zone. That's a football play right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's a football play. That got me excited. Brady Russell got me excited. I saw that play and was like, wait a second here. Who the hell is this guy? Brady Russell. So then I go to PlayerProfiler and I can't believe it. I can't believe it. This is Brady Russell. Another long-haired tight end, ladies and gentlemen, from Seattle. A long-haired Seattle tight end. Why can't we escape it? Why does this keep happening? I'm not going to complain. I like it. I think it's fun. But what? Why do they keep doing this? They say, all right, let's get rid of Colby Parkinson and bring in Brady Russell. Let's go. Undrafted. So that's fine. Undrafted from 2023. So he hung around on the practice squad. But he's from Colorado. And what we know about Colorado football players is they play football, right? Austin Eckler, one of those. Lots of them, really. These Midwestern, these Mountain State rugged dudes, they just play football. They're tough guys. And when you see them at the tight end position, you can't help but get excited, especially when they're decent enough. 6'3", 247 pounds, and then has average athleticism. But when you can make plays like that, that's getting me excited, especially with Noah Fant picking up that injury. I didn't even know who the backup tight end is, but now it's a long-haired dude from Seattle. Brady Russell, let's go. That's awesome stuff. So, hey, I got excited about that. I thought that was pretty fun. So, hey, why not one more time? Why not one more time? Why don't we watch this Brady Russell highlight one more time?
Found his man into the end.
It's being weird. Hold on. There we go.
So, and underneath.
Oh. Here we go.
Howell, all kinds of time.
Catch.
And underneath.
Tackle.
Found his man into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks.
Let's go. Brady Russell, ladies and gentlemen. The sleeper tight end you didn't even know about. And now moving on to the next player. We'll stay in Seattle. Seattle. I'll keep it close. I didn't mean to do this. I really did mean to at least get some takeaways for some other teams, but that's why we'll go to honorable mentions at the end. Kenneth Walker was a winner in this preseason game as well because the coaching staff clearly, has found their bell cow running back. They're not playing Kenneth Walker at all this preseason. They're resting him completely. But then B, they're clearly testing out all the running backs to figure out who their backup is. Kenny McIntosh had 8 carries. Kobe Lewis had 10 carries. George Halani had 6 carries. Kerry Robinson had 5 carries. D. Eskridge had a carry. And Zach Charbonnet only had 2 carries for 6 yards and dropped his only target. Kenneth Walker's a winner, ladies and gentlemen. We've already been hearing it from the coaching staff. They believe that he has the 3-down capability. And now in the preseason, they rest him and use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different players to run the ball. I think that's incredible for Kenneth Walker. I think that really does show that Kenneth Walker is the bell cow here, and it shows that Zach Charbonnet is not that good. It really does. We already knew it. We saw it last year. He wasn't that great. He's fine. He's a backup running back. He was overdrafted. At that point, we have to agree he was overdrafted, should not have been taken where he was. But again, last year, Kenneth Walker, a total stud. Anytime he had more than 12% of snaps, Zach Charbonnet didn't even get 10 touches. Kenneth Walker, anytime he gets 20 or more touches, averages over 100 yards and a touchdown. I mean, he's just a true dog, one of the best running backs in the league. And the Seattle Seahawks new coaching staff believes it too. Another big winner from this weekend is Travis Etienne. As you see, now I'm trying to sprinkle in some of these vets, these players that have been around for a bit too, because they're important. What we can see from them is big. And one thing that we have been wanting from Travis Etienne is receiving touchdowns and just receiving usage in general. And well, ladies and gentlemen, he did it. Travis Etienne got himself a receiving touchdown this weekend from Trevor Lawrence while the starters are on the field. Check it out.
And back to throw. There's a quick throw to Travis Etienne.
Nice.
And yes.
And it's it. There's a quick throw to Travis Etienne. And back to throw.
That was a poorly run Texas route. Not enough of a cut, but it worked out anyway. Travis Etienne got himself a receiving touchdown. That's got to get you excited for his potential usage this season. That's all we wanted to see last year was receiving usage. He gets a receiving touchdown from Trevor Lawrence. It's awesome. It's awesome. So that's a winner for me, especially since Tank Bigsby didn't really do much to separate himself from D'Ernest Johnson. Really, both of them were about the same. Yes, they both had some chunk plays. Yes, they both looked decent enough, but none of them are true threats to Travis Etienne. I know that there's some hype around Tank Bigsby since he's going into year 2, but we have to understand what type of player Travis Etienne is. He's been recovering from that ACL. Last year is a top 5 running back. Now he's truly fully healthy, and now he finally looks like he's going to get some receiving usage. This is a guy, guys. We have to get Travis Etienne on our teams. Looking good. Big winner from the preseason. Next up, we have the Raiders offense. I couldn't just choose one. The Raiders offense was clicking, guys. And it's what we expected, right? Like, there's a lot of pieces on this offense. They're not great. Like, they're not a world-beating offense, but they're way better than people are giving credit for. Like, they have all the pieces in the right places, and we saw it. We saw it this weekend. They looked good enough. Both Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell had 100-plus passer rating, so they didn't really do much to earn the starter job, either one of them. But they didn't have any turnovers, and they both were able to move the football, which is just good news for the Raiders offense in general, no matter who the quarterback ends up being. Who was better? I'm putting quotes around it. Even as a Gardner Minshew truther, Gardner Minshew was better. He had a worse completion percentage, but he had more yards, and he wasn't sacked, and he had the passing touchdown, which Aiden O'Connell didn't. Gardner Minshew went 6 of 12 for 117 with a touchdown. Aiden O'Connell went 7 of 9 for 76 yards, no touchdowns, and got sacked. So not enough yet for either one to really separate themselves, but both looked good enough to where you can get a little bit of confidence boost into your Raiders. So they all looked really good. Zamir White, 6 carries for 23 yards and a touchdown. That's exactly what you want to see. And then the big story is Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers was utilized all over the field as a true weapon. Here's the play of him lined up as a fullback and catching a pass in the flat. I think that's Carter Bradley. But either way, Brock Bowers in a normal game situation, I feel like turns that into a touchdown. He slips after catching it. But just to see that type of usage is exactly what you want to see. That's a mismatch nightmare right there, ladies and gentlemen. Brock Bowers is a fullback catching some passes in the flat. That will lead to some yak. So Brock Bowers looks good. Zamir White looks good. The quarterbacks look good. Everything you want looks good in Las Vegas. And they're all cheap. They really are all cheap. Even Brock Bowers, I think you could argue is cheap. I understand he's expensive where you're taking him, but just that upside kind of outset, like it's worth it. Like everything's priced in right there. He's probably the only one that's priced correctly, but everyone else, I think you can get in at a good deal. I will say that Dylan Lobb, unfortunately, didn't look great. But he didn't look bad either, so we'll hold on a little bit. But 4 carries for 8 yards is not what you want to see. And then, of course, he also had no receptions, which is not what you want to see. But I think he could bounce back a little bit. And maybe they just didn't want to utilize him there because they've already seen enough from him. So Dylan Lobb, maybe not the greatest preseason performance, but we could tell ourselves a story, make ourselves feel a little bit better that, maybe they just didn't want to utilize him a ton yet. But so keep our eye on that. Hopefully he bounces back in the next couple preseason games. Winner number 8 is Braelon Allen. Braelon Allen is a perfect complement to Breece Hall. Check out this run, ladies and gentlemen.
Standard and then taking it to that next level. Speaking of the standard, 1 year we talked, and you talked about keeping the main thing.
Just such a great cut right here at the point of attack, and then gets through and just tries to run over a man. Yes, he doesn't run him over, like the tackle still happens, but just big man running. That's exactly what you want to see. The perfect complement to Breece Hall at his size. And no one else looked anywhere near as good as him in the backfield. 6 carries for 54 yards, had that 24-yard run that I just shown. And then Israel Labanakanda had 6 carries for only 17 yards. Xavier Valade had 8 carries for only 11 yards. So Braelon Allen, as had been reported really throughout training camp, is the RB2 here and looks damn good. So Braelon Allen, a really big winner, a huge winner. And we'll still have to see what type of usage he gets behind Breece Hall, but still, he's a good compliment. I could see him actually getting some like important usage just to not hurt Breece Hall. You know, give him those goal line carries, give him those short yardage situations because of his size, which kind of puts a little bit of a sour note into Breece Hall. I'm going to be honest with you. He looked really, really good. So Braelon Allen, really big winner. The War Machine, says Harry Snowman. The War Machine. Next up, we have Tank Dell. Tank Dell might be the biggest winner from preseason. Only 1 reception, but that 1 reception is a 34-yard touchdown from C.J. Stroud. Check it out.
We see now a 3rd and 8. Stroud.
So he catches it right here, right? And there's a lot of people. You can even see over here on the corner of the screen, this safety is coming into the play. He has this other safety right next to him.
Delivers right on the money, and that goes to Tank Dell. Dell makes his way into the end here.
Tank Dell is just too good at football. The CJ Stroud to Tank Dell connection is still alive and well. Tank Dell looks even better than he did last year, despite the 2 injuries he's recovering from. To see him do that this early, on top of everything we hear about CJ Stroud loving Tank Dell, as him being his favorite target, why in the world is Tank Dell the cheapest Texans receiver? Seriously. Like, he's going to be CJ Stroud's favorite target. It's no doubt. No doubt in my mind. So draft Tank Dell. Draft him. And lastly, the other big winner number 10, Jaylen Wright. I've got 2 highlights for you. This dude, Jaylen Wright, everything we want. A true stud. Jaylen Wright looked incredible and has to be making Devon Etienne and Raheem Mostert owners scared. Check out this play from Jaylen Wright. This is a catch, literally a Barry Sanders type highlight. Like, look at this. Incredible stuff. Oh, wait, wrong one. This is not the Barry Sanders highlight. The other one's the Barry Sanders highlight. I clicked on the wrong share screen. This is just a nice run. Check out the vision here. Finds such a small hole, but is able to get through it after a cut and get into the end zone on a 5-6 yard carry. That's tough to do. So a really great inside run from him, which is what you want to see. And then this Barry Sanders ass highlight right here as well. Check it out.
Of the veterans
catches
and
the
rookies that they brought in, or the
That's a man right there.
Really have done a good service to
and yes, of course, he's going to get that first down. Now, maybe in an actual NFL game, he does get tackled there. Maybe. Who knows? But still, just awesome to see. Really good run from him. He finishes the day, 10 carries for 55 yards and a touchdown. So that's just awesome. On top of that reception I just showed, Jaylen Wright's the RB3 here in Miami. We already knew it, but we should know that really that's like RB2, you know? Like, it's like a 1A, 1B with Etienne Mostert. Jaylen Wright's going to come into, like, really all 3 of these running backs are going to have opportunities. And if an injury happens, Jaylen Wright is going to go sicko mode. So those are my 10 big winners from the preseason. I've also got some honorable mentions that I'll go through here in a second. But the first round rookie quarterbacks is the biggest one. And then we also had Jordan Whittington, A.T. Perry, Sam Howell, Travis Etienne, the Raiders offense, Kenneth Walker, Braelon Allen, Tank Dell, and Jaylen Wright. Those are going to be my big winners. It's awesome. It's awesome, especially Jaylen Wright. I love this take from Snowman. This is basically what I've been saying. He fits the offense too well, is the starter. He's the only one that actually has size. He actually has size. That's why you want him. Yes, Etienne and Mostert have the home running speed. So does Jaylen Wright, on top of having really good size. So it's good. I like this Dolphins rushing attack. I like all of them. Great preseason winners. Those are my top 10. So now, before we get into the honorable mentions, let's just take a little bit of a break and hear about the draft kit.
Hey, it's the Podfather. I have great news. The draft kit is live. It is world famous. Why? Because it is the best resource for winning fantasy football championships that exists. There are rankings and cheat sheets for every format you can imagine. We have projections both at the team level and the player level. And wherever you are, you can click on a player, open them up, and see in-depth written analysis about what to expect in fantasy football from that player this year. And then you can click on the team, and you can get even more in-depth analysis, all the drivers of fantasy production, both in a positive and negative direction for that team, including a signature trend. And the graphics are incredible. So these team insights, they give you the team-level projections, the vacated targets, the vacated ARs. And we added a bunch of features. I mean, individual cheat sheets for Theo and Billy and Dario. So you could take your favorite analyst and download their personal draft cheat sheet. And then in the commissioners section, Memphis Young lays out everything you need to know to manage a league. The best minds in the industry contributing analysis. It's certainly not the most inexpensive draft kit on the market, but it is the best. PlayerProfiler.com/draft kit. PlayerProfiler.com/draft kit. Go get it.
Go get that draft kit. Help you win your fantasy football leagues for only $45, or just get the whole Dynasty Deluxe package, or get the whole damn all-in package with promo code Jason to get $20 off. Anyway, guys, we have some honorable mentions as well from the preseason. Let's go ahead and start things off with Louis Rees-Zammit. This is a player I wanted to watch. I wanted to see his usage, and boy, did they use him, but did he look good? I would say the jury is still out, and I honestly might pour some cold water, but let's go ahead and talk about it. I'm going to share my screen. Somebody on Twitter actually put together every single touch he had. The NFL UK.
Midway through.
For them. Of course, they have some vested interest here given their region, but here, check it out. Here's a carry, and actually, let me mute it. This is 51 seconds. This is everything he did. So as you see, here's an inside run, and you can already tell there's not a lot of explosiveness here. I'm going to be honest with you. Here's him in special teams coverage. He's actually about to make the tackle. You could see him here. Gets down, kind of gets the tackle. I mean, he gets credit for it, but, you know, the guy did kind of break free. Here's him getting another, or this is actually a catch from him. A few yards, I guess it's fine. And then here's one more carry, a little bit of a stretch. I mean, that just gets blown up. But the thing you're going to see from him, oh, and here's also him kicking, doing the kicking thing, which actually looks like this is where he's going to be utilized best, just because we've been hearing a lot of teams not wanting to use their actual kicker here because the kicker has to make tackles a lot of the times. But here, we're going to play it again, and this is what I see. So again, this is an inside run. There is no elusiveness there. I don't care if there's straight line speed. Fine cut. Like, it looks like he has vision, which is good. It looks like he has vision. I'm not going to lie. I mean, that's a really good cut. He does get to the outside, but it is not quick. It is not quick. He looks very rugged out there. You see it too on the catch, on this highlight too. He gets out there, gets the catch, but then, like, you know, stutter. It's very rugged. It's like, I can't really describe it other than that. Like, it's not very smooth. And you want to see that. Now, of course, he's coming from rugby, so that's going to be the case. But it was a little, I just want to say. But also for him to get all that usage is why he's in the honorable mentions. It's going to take some time. We know it. It looks like he's earning himself a roster spot. So might take some time for him to actually be relevant as like a running back or something. But he's demonstrated still some of the tools. And we know he has top of the line speed if he can get there. So he really has to work on his agility, though. That is something that is not needed in rugby. So it makes sense why he doesn't have it. You would have thought maybe if he played soccer or something out in the UK, he could get some of that because that's all soccer is about. but maybe he shouldn't play street soccer. I don't know. But either way, not super agile, Louis Rees-Sam, and I'm going to be honest with you. My next honorable mention is going to be Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett threw 4 interceptions, but what does he do? He wins the game-winning touchdown pass with just a few seconds left in the game, and it was a great pass.
4th and goal to tie the game. This is it.
It's pressured, of course. Rolls out to his weak side, by the way, to the left. Has to throw off his back foot while running and completely zips it. Completely zips it for that touchdown. A great throw. And that's what he was good at in UGA as well, just these off-platform throws. And yes, he threw 4 interceptions, but this was his first football action in over a year. He played no preseason last year, completely on the NFI. It was going to take some time for him to get acclimated, and apparently it took 3.9 quarters for him to do so. But that was awesome, and I'm very excited to see what he can look like the rest of this preseason. Again, I do believe he's going to end up being the backup over Jimmy Garoppolo, and I'm a big Jimmy Garoppolo guy. I like the handsome fellow, but Stetson Bennett, he's young. We'll put young in quotes. I know he's not actually young. Played in college a very long time. But Jimmy Garoppolo with that 2-game suspension, Stetson Bennett's going to take it and run with it. He has 2 more preseason games to prove himself, really get up to game speed, and he was so good at UGA. He really, really did pick defenses apart, and I'm very excited to see him develop. It just, takes some time. He hasn't played football in so long. He hasn't taken football in so long. To see him get in, throw those 4 interceptions, but still keep slinging it and then get the game winner as time expires, you can't really ask for much more than that. So Stetson Bennett, honorable mention. My next honorable mention is going to be the Commanders offense, specifically Ben Sinnott and Michael Wiley. Check out this play from Ben Sinnott. And this is from Jayden Daniels, if I remember correctly, but maybe not.
For the 3rd preseason game against the Giants.
But up the seam for a game, breaks the tackle.
They're very high on
4 dudes to bring him down. It's insane.
Carrying tackler.
Great play from Ben Sinnott. And that's exactly what he is. He's a football player, a dog, dogs. So to see that, it's incredible. Again, he's probably going to be held back by Zach Ertz until Zach Ertz gets hurt. So use any opportunity right now as you can to get Ben Sinnott, because he's not going to start more than likely unless Zach Ertz gets hurt before week 1. So at that time, you can probably get Sinnott. He's probably going to end up getting this like Isaiah Likely type preseason hype, but either way, it's valid. Very good at the Senior Bowl, very good at the Combine, very good in college, now very good in the preseason. Ben Sinnott looking good. And then I also wanted to mention Michael Wiley. As I talked about, it's been an aside, but Michael Wiley was the 2nd best running back at the Senior Bowl. Yes, better than Dylan Love. Yes, better than Kamani Vidal. A great pass catcher, demonstrated a ton of vision as well, but he's older, so I think that affected his draft capital. And he went to the University of Arizona where he never really saw a ton of volume, but he looked damn good, I promise you. And in this Commanders offense, I think he has a shot, because it's Brian Robinson, Austin Eckler, and then Chris Rodriguez, who really isn't that good. So I think Michael Wiley is going to end up taking that RB3 spot because he's a multi-purpose running back. He's a really, really good pass catcher, but also has some good vision out of the backfield too. And in this preseason game, 8 carries, 34 yards, got himself a rushing touchdown, and also had a reception for 5 yards. All you want to see out of a guy. Michael Wiley, remember that name. RB3 for the Commanders, an important handcuff too behind Austin Eckler because he's going to be able to catch passes. So, Michael Wiley. The next big winner or honorable mention is going to be DeAndre Swift. There was no Roschon Johnson in this game. Khalil Herbert didn't do shit, and they brought in some other running backs to try to get some looks too, but DeAndre Swift got himself a 42-yard reception off of a little bit of a broken down play from Caleb Williams, which is awesome. I mean, that's going to help Caleb Williams.
Medical 10 on the Buffalo sideline.
Show the Bears that he is a very explosive pass catcher. Yes, I mean, it's a wide open field, but I mean, he kind of gets one cut there, and then he's just so quick after the ball. And honestly, might have been a touchdown if he doesn't trip right there. Not even touched, but tripped because he was running so fast. But that's very exciting stuff for DeAndre Swift managers. He's going to be a pass catcher, but most importantly, Roschon and Khalil Herbert haven't looked good in the preseason, so he's going to get a ton of usage as well. Like, he could actually be a 3-down back, which would be incredible. Probably still more a first and second, or like first and third sometimes, maybe a second and third. I don't know. But either way, he is the RB1 here, looking like he's going to be explosive as a pass catcher. So honorable mention, DeAndre Swift. And finally, actually, sorry, I've got two more. The Broncos running backs not named Samaje Perine. They all looked pretty good in this game, and Samaje Perine looked bad. I'm sure you've seen this low light by now. This is Samaje Perine doing his best.
Watch Franklin come right here. He's right there. Boom. He's right there. Boom. He makes sure he doesn't catch it. And then Kenny, opportunistic as all get out.
But the other running backs, Audric Estime, 10 carries for 30 yards and a touchdown. Jaleel McLaughlin, 7 carries for 30 yards. Blake Watson, 9 carries for 26 yards. That's exactly what you want to see from all the backup running backs on this team. So honorable mention goes to all the Broncos running backs not named Samaje Perine. And the final honorable mention is going to be Jermaine Burton. And the only reason he isn't a winner is because he didn't really see the field until the fourth quarter and only got action with the backup team. So that's why he can't be a big winner. But he looked really, really good in his limited availability out in the fourth quarter, and even got himself this touchdown catch, which was awesome. He looked really, really good here. Check it out. He's up at the top. That wasn't the touchdown. Either way, a nice catch by him. A very nice catch from him. And then also got a really, really nice touchdown reception as well. Completely beat his coverage wide open into the end zone. Had 3 receptions for 87 yards and a touchdown. So honorable mentions go to Jermaine Burton, the Broncos running backs not named Samaje Perine, DeAndre Swift, Commanders offense, specifically Michael Wiley and Ben Sinnott, Stetson Bennett, and Louis Rees-Zammit. Those are my honorable mentions. Let's go ahead and hop into the chat, see if we have any quick questions to answer before we get out of here. Would you rather draft Jaylen Wright or Braelon Allen? Jaylen Wright, and it is not even close. Honestly, not even close. Don't talk crap about Roschon. I mean, he had no carries. I think it's the injury, but still, he didn't look good in the Hall of Fame, that great in the Hall of Fame game either. I am a Jimmy G guy, but that's just all the way from New England. You're very handsome. I think he's funny too. Not like funny as a person. I just think like his career arc is funny. I don't know. It's just silly. Jamie, shout out for meeting Podfather. It is awesome meeting your heroes. That is great. Theo is also awesome. Very cool guys. Podfather, I want you to be honest with me. How much he was so much taller than I thought he'd be. He's like a good like 6'1", 6'2", tall guy. Very tall guy, which kind of shocked me. So yeah, that congratulations on meeting him. Hope anyone that went out to the expo, hope you guys had a really good time. Let's see. Thoughts on Wicks? Good catch. Still buried on the depth chart though. But you know, he's a good player to roster on your bench. If I had Deontavian Wicks, would be selling the shit out of him for sure. Incredible play by him, of course. Mostly an incredible play by Jordan Love. But it has to take an injury for him to see the field. It has to. Romeo Doubs is good. Jayden Reed is good. Christian Watson is good. Dontavia Wicks is good. 4 wide receiver sets, he'll be out there, sure. But there's just so much hype for him right now. I would offload him. I'm not going to lie. Let's see. Not happy with how Knicks led Dulcich into that defender. Took a shot that was unnecessary. That's just going to be rookie quarterbacks. That's just rookie quarterbacks. They don't understand the protecting your targets quite yet, but he'll get there. I see a lot of people asking if they should keep Jelani Woods, and I'm going to say yes. Yes, he didn't get much oxygen in the preseason, but he did a 1 catch for 17 yards. We'll accept it. Yes, there are 2 other tight ends ahead of him, but still remember, he did not play at all last season. He's recovering from an injury. And, you know, the other tight ends, they're not great, but they are beatable. Or they're not great, but they're good, but they're also beatable, right? Like they're fine enough to where they are not in a hurry to rush Jelani Woods out there. But at some point, they'll need the playmaking ability that he brings. So just be a little bit patient with him as well. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that is it. Or actually here. Well, yeah, I just kind of talked about a lot of the players that impressed me. So yeah, that'll do it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys all have a magnificent Monday, a wonderful rest of your week. And I'll see you all tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, here on the Player Profiler YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to Player Profiler and Player Profiler News. You can follow me on social media at JFootballWine, and you can follow Player Profiler wherever you get your social media as well at Player Profiler, at Roto Wonderworld. You all, again, have a magnificent Monday and a wonderful rest of your week. Peace.
From the Podfather to you, I deeply appreciate you tuning in. And many ask, what can I do? What can I do to help support the hosts, the research they do, the production costs? Go to playerprofiler.com, Dynasty Deluxe, World Famous Draft Kit, Rankings, DFS Dominator, and of course, data analysis. Subscribe to any one of those, and you support all of us and take Player Profiler to the moon.